So we're going to be moving up the common pain points chart. So we're going to move into the lower back, and we're going to need 2 tools for this area. So if you're feeling pain or discomfort in the lower back region, we're going to need the foam roller and your lacrosse ball. The lacrosse ball is going to be only if you find that there's a particular area that needs some more direct attention, or more like a trigger point, so a pointy area to really get that knot out. Then you're going to grab the lacrosse ball or your tennis ball, and you're going to work that area out. So grab your foam roller. I'm going to place my lacrosse ball off to the side, but keep it handy. So whenever you are unwinding an area, you always want to start on the area that's closest to the feet, and then work your way up. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the inner thigh. So we're going to come down onto the mat. You're going to angle your foam roller, and then we're going to come down almost on our side, but kind of face down. Go ahead and place the leg over the foam roller. Remember, you can lock the leg or the foot on the foam roller if that's comfortable, or if you're not feeling anything. What I do is I just rest the foot off the foam roller. And then I just come down to my forearms, and I'm gonna hang here. So I'm gonna try to roll up as close up to the pelvis as possible, and making sure that it's comfortable. And we're just gonna hang here. So we're not really going to roll. If you're not feeling anything, just kind of shift your body forward a little bit, and you'll start feeling those sensations, and you'll know you're in the right spot. So we're just going to actually hang here and allow gravity to do the work. So just taking a few breaths here together, and take a deep inhale through the nose. Good, long exhale out. Inhale through the nose. Good, long exhale out. You just do 2 to 3 breaths, a little bit more if you have more time, but 2 to 3 breaths with each area of the inner thigh. So we're going to lift up and move the roller to about the middle of the inner thigh. And again, a couple breaths here. Inhale through the nose. Long exhale out. Inhale through the nose. Good, long exhale out. Lifting up and moving the foam roller to just above the knee. Still targeting that inner thigh, those adductors. Let's take a deep inhale through the nose. Long exhale out. And right now my foot is hanging off, but it's barely touching the floor. That's inhale through the nose. Long exhale out. But I can feel as it softens that the foot gets closer to the floor here. So that's going to complete that side. Always take your time getting off the foam roller and coming to all fours, and we're going to switch sides. Froggy your leg up and over the roller, trying to get the roller close to the pelvis. And a few breaths together here. Inhale through the nose. Long exhale out. Inhale through the nose. Long exhale out. Comparing and contrasting which side was the tightest. Inhale through the nose. Good, exhale it out. Today my right side feels the tightest. So we're gonna roll the roller to the middle of the inner thigh or the adductors. Inhale through the nose. Long exhale out. Inhale through the nose. Good, long exhale out. Now we'll roll the foam roller closer to the knee, just above the knee, so we never roll over that kneecap. Inhale through the nose. Long exhale out. And if you don't feel anything, scoot the body forward slightly and you'll start feeling it. Inhale through the nose. Good, nice long exhale out. Now from here, take your time getting off the foam roller. And then we'll move to the next area, which is going to be our glutes. So we're gonna lay the foam roller and sit on the foam roller. And then we're going to place our hands behind us, and then whichever angle is comfortable for your wrists. So for me, fingers forward is comfortable, and then slightly turned out. So I'm gonna work on my right glute first, so right ankle comes to my left knee. And then I'm going to shift the weight over to that right glute, almost leaning. So the only part of the foam roller that's touching the body is your right glute. So the left glute is kind of off the foam roller. And then you can roll the foam roller slowly at first, just trying to feel for any areas that feel extra tight, that need a little extra attention. And you can hang out on those areas, getting those tension points to let go and release. And there's a lot of surface area on the glute, so make sure that you can roll pretty much almost above or almost to the lower back. You'll feel it where the lower back, where the ilium begins, where those Mickey Mouse ears begins, like I like to call it. And then rolling back to just before that sit bone, you'll feel it. And you don't want to roll over that. That's where you stop and you go back up towards the lower back. So just 2 or 3 times, or 3 to 5 times on that side. And then we're going to switch. So now, the left ankle comes to the right knee, leaning into that left glute now, and then rolling slowly just to kind of see how that tissue feels, and then comparing and contrasting which side is the tightest, right side or the left side. And finding those sweet spots and just kind of taking a moment to hang out there and let gravity do the work. The seated figure 4 really helps open up the hips so that you can roll over and get piriformis and glute medius and minimus, all of those ones that cause a lot of that discomfort that we feel in our lower back sometimes. All right, slowly unwind and we'll come off the roller and we'll move on to the next area, which we're going to roll our IT bands. So you can kind of see the inner thighs, we started there, that's connected to the pelvis. So that could be playing tug of war with the pelvis, so that could be pulling on that lower back. And then we worked the glutes, which is a huge primary muscle group that doesn't get enough credit. And it can also play tug of war and cause any that discomfort that you might be feeling. So now we're going to move to the outer part of the leg, the lateral leg, where the IT band is. So it crosses our knee joint. It's a thick band of fibrous tissue coming all the way up to your glutes. So it's our knee and our hip stabilizer. So if there's something wonky there, it can play around with the tug of war with the pelvis. So imagine if your adductors, your inner thighs were playing tug of war with the inner pelvis, and then your IT bands are playing tug of war with the lower back. You can kind of see how that's going to really cause a lot of tension. So it's a big pulley system, especially in this pelvic girdle. All right, so let's come to the side of our foam roller, and we're going to stick the glutes out and go ahead and palpate or touch the side of the hip, and you're going to feel that kind of that round, hard kind of surface there. You want to place the roller right below that. That's your hip bone there. Your greater trochanter area, close to it. And I'm going to come out into a plank. You want to drop down to your forearm. So I'm on my right IT band, and I drop down to my right forearm, and I'm going to stay in a plank here. If you need to, bring that top leg, that left leg, up and over. So I'm just going to do plank for the demo. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll forward and then roll back. I like to use the top leg to help guide me back so I'm nice and controlled on the foam roller. That's the goal here. So don't be afraid to use and find the ways that work best for you to feel stable on the roller so it's effective. So 3 to 5 times, just gonna roll back and forth or side to side. And what that does is that helps break up any of those adhesions or any of those knots that are limiting your range of motion in your hips and your knees. All right, take your time coming off the foam roller, nice and easy, very, very slowly. And then we're going to move to the center. So we were up here by the hip, now we're gonna move to the center and just kind of roll in that area back and forth, okay? So go ahead and try to take your time landing on that section of the IT band. I'm gonna extend my legs out again. And then we'll begin. Rolling forward, rolling back. You can use that top leg to help balance you. So take it nice and slow. The muscle tissue will respond better the slower that you go. Takes a lot of time to get our IT bands this tight. So it does take patience and being very, very gentle on the foam roller to help it unwind. Okay, so just 2 to 3 times on the IT bands because they are pretty tight. But that consistency you'll find, like I'm starting to feel with these demos, that it's starting to loosen up and it's not as tight. And then when you do jump on the foam roller and you notice, man, that is tight, even when you are consistent with it, you can kind of track back, reverse engineering your motion and see where, identify why it might be tight. So last area is just above the knee, that section just above the knee. So never ever place the roller on the knee. And then take your time, rolling forward and rolling back. I also feel the slower that you go, it's a little bit more manageable with the discomfort that you do feel. I will not deny that it's uncomfortable. But the result afterwards and how you feel and how you're able to move, that's the goal. That's the reward. Okay, so from here, I'll just drop the hips down to the floor and then roll the roller away to reset for the other side. And you can kind of rock the hips side to side a little bit if you want. And then we'll set up for the next side. So I'm on my left side, press the hips out, palpate that area. We're going to place the roller right below it. And then I'll extend the legs out. You can bring your leg up and over for support, however you want. And then 3 to 5 times rocking forward and back. My left IT band, the one that I'm rolling now, is always extra tight. So just noticing which side is the tightest. For me, it's my left side, and I always know that it's really just compensating for my right ankle and my right knee. So I have a lot of really, really tender areas, especially the areas of the IT band closest to the hip and closest to the knee. So that's where the breathing comes in. And I slow down the speed at which I'm rolling. All right. Take your time, guiding yourself off the roller, and we're going to switch to the middle section of the left IT band. Take your time getting onto the roller, and then 3 to 5 times back and forth. And don't be surprised if you get subtle adjustments or big adjustments in the lower back as we are unwinding these areas, helping that lower back unwind and adjust. All right, last area, take your time coming off the foam roller, that section just above the knee. Take your time getting on there, drop down to the forearm. There we go. Ooh, this side doesn't feel as bad as I thought on near the knee. Usually it's very sensitive. And just keeping tabs on the body as you build this habit of rolling every day. And you can just roll, eventually just begin rolling based on the common pain points. Where are you feeling the pain? And then taking that chart and following the tools and the suggested areas to foam roll, and then the complementary stretches. Go ahead and drop the hip down. Take your time rolling that foam roller away and guide yourself up. Move to the next area, which is our lats. Yay. Or our quads, excuse me. We're going to do our quads first and then our lats. So that's the front of the hips. So we are getting surrounding the whole hips. So we're doing inner thighs, IT bands, glutes. Let's roll out the quads. Just 3 to 5 times back and forth. So you can try to land on the roller as close to the hips as is comfortable for you. Drop down to the forearms, and then we can slowly roll. Relax your feet. Sometimes I've noticed that I tense up with rolling the quads, but try to relax the feet and take your time. I call it annoyingly slow because sometimes you really literally have to go so slow for the tissue to respond to what you're doing. But as you do this, you're also building trust with your body as well. And with future foam rolling sessions, it'll just begin to unwind a lot faster. Definitely tell the difference between my right quad and my left quad. Left quad is way tighter. All right. And go ahead and roll up to the hips so that the knees can drop to the mat. Come to tabletop spine, guide yourself up. Last but not least, we're going to roll out one of my favorite areas in the whole wide world, your lats. So we're going to start on our right side, extend the right arm up, and you're going to reach around to the side body. That mid-rib section, that's where you're going to land it. If you can feel your shoulder blade or your shoulder blade, if you can feel the bottom of that area, you want to actually land the foam roller right underneath that point, because when we're on the foam roller, our arm's going to be extended anyways. So go ahead and land on the foam roller, find that spot, extend the arm out. Now, if you're like, okay, I'm not really feeling anything, start to roll back. Bring the top leg back. So, and then you'll start to feel where the lats are. So that is our target. We are literally rolling over that, trying to soften that tissue, because what's happening, go ahead and stay there. What's happening is the lats attach here in our arm, on the humerus, and it comes all the way down to the hip, to the Mickey Mouse ears, or your ilium. I call them Mickey Mouse ears. So that's a lot of surface area. So we're gonna roll that area in particular right here, because we're actually rolling the traps and the lats kind of combined, because they kind of overlap right there. So rolling that area, I have found, especially in my massage career, it felt like I had brand new arms. So I could be confident with my clients and in my sessions. So let's get rolling. We're going to be on that right side. Extend that arm out. If it's sensitive to roll forward, you can cup the breast tissue as you roll forward, and then we just roll back. So nice and easy, nice and slow, like we've been doing. All the way almost to the spine. So right before the spine, we'll stop and pause and then roll forward. Now I always want to make sure that I warn you that, ladies, if you're wearing a sports bra or a bra, sometimes you will see kind of stripes up on the side body, kind of where we rolled. And it's okay, it's nothing bad, it's just I just want to warn you that that does happen, and you'll see that. It does go away. All right, so 3 to 5 times there, and then take your time coming off the foam roller, and then we'll switch to the other side. On the left side, extend the arm up, feel for the shoulder blade, and then come down to that point, the last point. It's kind of tender. It's a very tender little spot, and that's where you're going to try to land on the foam roller. And then we'll extend that left arm out, and then we'll begin to roll forward. You can cup the breast tissue if you need to, and then roll back. Top leg supports, rolling back all the way almost to the spine, making sure you're breathing. And then 2 to 5 more times, depending on how it feels for you. And comparing and contrasting again, which side is tighter? Which side body feels the tightest? For me, it's this left side. This left side is very tight. However, it is getting looser the more I'm rolling. So I am feeling an improvement. It's definitely something that you see more than you feel. Or feel more than you see, I mean. Feel the improvement. All right. And take your time. Coming off the foam roller. I'm going to place the roller to the side and join me in tabletop spine. Hips are going to be directly over the knees. You're going to walk your hands forward so your shoulders are behind your wrist joints, and your gaze is going to be above the fingers on your mat. And we're just going to rock the hip side to side. Perfect. And we'll pause the rocking, come back to the center, and we're going to do a couple waves. Let's inhale into cat. Exhale, drop the glutes back, then drop the elbows down, and then just guide yourself back to tabletop spine. So it's kind of like a little wave. Inhale into cat. Exhale, drop the glutes back, drop the elbows down, and guide yourself back to tabletop spine. Perfect. Alrighty, so if you would like a copy of these Anatomy Nerd myofascial release charts, you can get your copy on my website, vanessareagans.com. The bar at the top of the website, you can download your copy from there. And then what you can do is I will be actively creating these video demos. You can use them through IGTV, and you can also use them on my YouTube channel, which I'm also building. So if you go to YouTube, you can find my YouTube channel, Vanessa Reagans. So let me know what you think of this little combination, really focusing on relieving the tension that you're feeling in your lower back. So this is the foam rolling sequence that I recommend. Let me know what you think.